Well, hello, students. Another edition of SketchUp.com free. Today, I'm going to have you make a mallet, which will ultimately be used for a pegboard toy. And without further ado, I'm going to demonstrate how to make the entire mallet from the ground floor. Let's begin. Go to the icon that looks like a person, select it, select My Apps. You may have to log in with a Google account. I select My Products, view included applications, and launch SketchUp for Web Freemium. You'll see the familiar red animated logo. Next, create new, simple template feet in inches. Move to the right, you'll see the model info tab. Select that, change it to decimals, leave the precision as the default, highlight and change the snap interval to 0.125. Hit the enter key to lock it in. Select the 5-foot lady, hit the delete key to remove her, move to the right. You'll see the Scenes tab, select it, and make sure you're up here in the top corner where it shows parallel projection. Select that cube and select the face house, which will give you a face view, front view. Grab your pan tool and move it more down and to the left. Now, immediately go to the rectangle tool, select your origin and start to make your rectangle. And then at this point, you'll enter the dimensions 0.875, 3, enter. Don't be alarmed when the rectangle is small. Zoom in with your mouse wheel by pushing out. Next, I'm going to show a new technique I've learned. Select the line tool, which looks like a pencil. Go to your upper right corner. Click and draw a line down until you see a blue midpoint circle appear, and then click. Now you have something that can be used to help you measure. At this point, I'm going to do little circles. So I go to my circle tool, and I'm going to, on that line that I put, I'm going to find the midpoint of that line, and that's where I click the center of my circle. Click. And as I draw my circle, I look down to the bottom right, and you'll see radius. And if you have that snap interval at 0.125, it's going to snap at a radius of 0.25. That's what you want to do. And then a second click locks that circle in. You want to return to the circle. And again, you're going to go up from the bottom until you find that blue midpoint. Click the center and move out until you see radius 0.25. You're looking in the bottom right. Click a second time, and you have your second circle. Now, under the arrow key is the second tool down is the eraser tool. And again, you'll see a little tiny circle on the corner of that eraser, which shows you put that little circle over the line you want to erase. You click, and those lines disappear. We're removing the outer portion, which will leave a little cutout. Next, I'm going to the rotate tool. I'm going to rotate so that the red x-axis stays horizontal, the blue y-axis stays vertical, and the green z-axis is pointing mostly vertical, but slightly off to the right side of the y-axis. You can see what it looks like. Now I'm going to use the follow me. Oh, actually, I'm going to make a circle. So this will be the circle that we follow as we revolve. Make sure that you're seeing the blue circle. You're clicking right near that origin. Click, and then you drag your circle out until you see the endpoint at the edge of your profile. Click, and if you've made a blue circle, you know you've done it right. Now you return to the push-pull tool, which is looks like a rectangular prism with an arrow sticking out of it. Anyway, you select that tool, and then you select the next one below it, which is the Follow Me tool. I'm in the Follow Me tool. I select the profile that I want to revolve and the circle, and I put my point right on that x-axis and click, and I lock in a perfect revolution. Now, I'm going to flip as you can see, my mallet turned out to be hollow. And I want to solve this problem by making a circle. In the center, it goes right on that origin. Click, and you draw your circle out until it snaps in position. And then I believe if you verify it, you can revolve around to verify. It looks like it's a complete solid at this point. And then hit the face of the house to recenter and get into front view. Pan. Now, the next thing to do is put the handle on, and this is the technique I've learned to put the handle centered. So I use the line tool. I put my pencil right near what I can visually see as the center of my mallet head. Click and draw a line out to the left. Click. And then you can see I'm still attached, so I hit the escape key twice, which will detach me. Then I go back to the circle tool, select circle. I put my circle right on the end of that line that I drew. Click. And as I draw it out, I look to the bottom right where I see radius. I want 0.25. I'm entering it on my keypad, and then I hit the enter key to lock it in. That's a diameter of 1/2 inch. That's how big around the handle will be. And now I'm going to use the orbit tool to orbit and use the push-pull tool, which is the rectangular prism that looks like it has an arrow. And I pull it out. And as I'm pulling it out, I'm actually going to use 8 as my dimension this time. So I enter 8 on the keypad and then enter. Now I return to the right side and I see the top view of the house. So I'm going to select top view. And I'm going to use the arrow key to select the handle, and then I'm going to go to the 4th tool up from the bottom on the left, and it with the 4 arrow move tool, select it, grab, pull it directly to the right, and once I get it centered, I push it a bit. I push forward on it, and you'll see visually if the handle is centered left and right, and also you'll see that by pushing forward, you insert that handle inside the mallet head, and you'll see with a little bit of a slant in that line that you made that you've pushed it up and inside the mallet head. Now I'm going to use the arrow tool to select that line and hit the delete key to remove it. And once again, before you finish, you want to verify exactly just how well you did that job and see if your handle is centered. What I want to do now is return to materials. And I select the cube shape on the right. And I find the magnifying glass and select it because I'm going to go down to the bottom of that materials list and find wood. I'll possibly pick a dark wood for the head of the mallet, like that. And I select all different surfaces one by one. And again, I'll have to rotate a bit. Make sure I hit all the surfaces. Select your materials and orbit around a bit to verify that all your surfaces are covered. And now I'm going to select the light color. Looks like a pine. And then I'm going to select this handle and the end of the handle, filling it in with a dark mallet head and a light handle. Now I'm going to the glasses. I'm going to turn off the axes. I'm going down and turning shadows on by clicking the checkbox next to the shadows off. I'm going to slide the shadows to a liking that makes it look aesthetically pleasing. I'm going to return to the Scenes tab, which is the 4th tool up on the right. I'm going to put it in parallel projection. Don't be alarmed, it went small. I'm going to zoom with my mouse wheel. I'm pushing, making that mallet come closer. At this point, I'm going to save. I click that familiar SketchUp box. I type mallet. Finished. And then save here. And it's saving, as you can see. And now it is saved, and I move to these 3 lines, and I go export as PNG. Then I select the button down on the lower right, which says export as PNG. And you'll see down the bottom left where it says mallet finish.png. That indicates that file, that image has been saved in my downloads folder. Click my downloads folder, double click downloads, and I see Mallet Finish right there. If I double click it, my default software to open that is Paint. That PNG image is the one you want to turn in. I hope you have good luck